It's Friday, so we are going to do our News to You extension activity that is based on our topic of the week. And this week's topic was thanking hospital workers. And again, our activity that our school is doing is feel free to mail a card to hospital workers, and I put the address that you can use if you want in our Google Classroom. Also, if you want, I'm going to do this today myself. You can send a picture of yourself thanking hospital workers, and you can email it to me, and I will make sure it gets put into our thank you video that will be shared with hospital workers. Any little thing you can do would be greatly appreciated. So again, we're going to read and do our extension activity on thanking hospital workers. People are thanking hospital workers, especially now with the coronavirus and so many people being sick and needing to get medical attention. Hospital workers have been more important and appreciated than they have been, I think, in a long time. This has really opened our eyes into how much they do for us and how important it is for us to thank them. Many people work in hospitals. There's a lot of people that you guys know, and there's people that you may not realize that work in hospitals. Some of our staff might work in hospitals if they have a second job. Maybe your parents work in a hospital. You might have people that you know whose family members work in hospitals. However, you guys definitely know someone, whether you realize it or not, that works in a hospital. So let's learn about some hospital workers. Hospitals have many kinds of hospital workers. Hospital workers care for people who are sick, and they care for people who are hurt too. I know some of you guys have had to go to the hospital before because you were sick or because you've gotten hurt, and there was always people there that would help you. People who are sick or hurt often need help to feel better. Hospital workers help find out why people are sick or hurt. That's why sometimes nurses and doctors have to do tests on us or take x-rays so they can see what's wrong. They help people feel better. Hospital workers include doctors, nurses, aides, dietitians, and pharmacists. Okay, there's also a lot of other jobs that are in the hospital too that they did not mention right there, and we read about them in our News to You article as well. So here's a picture of a man who is not feeling well, and he has two nurses and a doctor in there that are helping, trying to see what's going on. Would you like to work in a hospital? That's a question you can think about or share with someone that you're listening to this video with. Would you want to work in a hospital? And if you're able to, why? That's a tough question. If you work in a hospital, you have to be able to be willing to be around lots of people who aren't feeling well. You have to be a very caring person, someone that likes helping others, which I know most of you guys really do like to help people, and you guys are definitely all caring. So think about that question. Would you ever want to work or volunteer in a hospital? Doctors find out why people are sick or hurt and help them feel better. Doctors will listen to people. They may do exams on people too. Doctors may order laboratory tests or x-rays. Tests and x-rays help doctors learn why people are sick or hurt. And here's a picture, and I'm going to try to zoom in, of a woman, and I think some of you guys this year alone have had to get x-rays before, and it really does help doctors and nurses see what's going on in your body so they know if something is broken or fractured, or maybe there's something there that shouldn't be, and they can help work on getting you fixed so you feel better. Doctors may order medicine for some people. Other people may need surgeries, bandages, or other things to help them feel better. I know sometimes it's scary to have to go to the doctor or the hospital, but when we go, it's because we do need extra help when we're not feeling well. Doctors and nurses, aides, everyone that works in a hospital, they are there to help us. That is their job, and it's what they want to do. So as scary as it may seem, they really are there to help us. And they're not going to do anything that would hurt us on purpose. So there's another question that is being asked. Why are doctors important? Okay. How do they help us feel after we get treated? What might they do for us? Think about all the things that would make a doctor important to us. Let me make this a little smaller. Sorry, guys. Another job or role that we see in hospitals are nurses. And I know we have nurses in our school that help us. I know some of you guys, you have family members that are nurses, but nurses care for people who are sick or hurt. So they also help us when we're not feeling well. Nurses care for people day and night. They check on people to see how they are feeling. And if you guys have ever had to stay in a hospital before or had family in the hospital, nurses are constantly going in and out of your room just to check on you and make sure everything's okay. They're always there helping you. They may use thermometers to take people's temperatures. Nurses may listen to people's heartbeats and breathing with stethoscopes. I know our nurses do that for us at school. They also take notes and teach people how to care for themselves. So nurses, again, they have important jobs too. They are constantly there at the hospital, making sure that anybody who's sick or hurt, patients, are okay and that they're checking in on them. And here's a picture of a nurse listening to a woman's heartbeat using her stethoscope. This question, who cares for you when you are sick? So whether you're at home or at school, who are people that might help you when you are not feeling well? Okay. So we're going to go on to our questions, our first three. Question 1. What has many kinds of hospital workers? So pretty much what they're asking in this roundabout way is, where do hospital workers work? Do they work in churches, schools, or hospitals? Well, the answer is kind of in the question. Hospital workers, well, it doesn't make sense for a hospital worker to work in a church. And hospital workers, we might see nurses working in schools, but we don't really see doctors and pharmacists and aides and dietitians at our school. I think hospital workers probably work in a hospital.
Hospitals.
Okay. However, we might see nurses at school, like I said. We know that there's a dentist and a doctor, but they're not in our school. They're in another part of our building, but technically that's not our school. Okay. What kind of tests may doctors order? This might be a tricky one. Are doctors going to order you guys to take a history test, a laboratory test where things get checked out, or a geography test? Well, I know history and geography are two subjects that we do in school, but I do know that doctors will send tests to a lab to get checked out. So I think doctors order laboratory or lab tests.
Laboratory.
Okay. So they might also order x-ray tests, blood tests that get sent to the lab, lots of stuff. These are all things that they do to make sure that we're safe and they can find out what's going on with us. Again, I apologize if you hear a lot of background noise. I live on a busy street. All right. Most of you guys should know this one because this happens at school sometimes. What does a nurse use to take a temperature? So if you're feeling kind of feverish, you're kind of hot, what do we take you down to the nurse to have your temperature checked with? Does the nurse use a reflex hammer on you? a thermometer that gets put in your mouth, across your forehead, or in your ear, or a stethoscope where she listens to your heartbeat. Well, I know a reflex hammer. I never ever have seen the nurses use a hammer to check your knees. That's not how we check our temperature. And while our nurses might have stethoscopes, when we have a temperature, she doesn't normally have to listen to our heartbeat to see if we have a temperature. But I do know that when you guys are feeling warm, the nurse will take the thermometer and she will check you guys out.
Thermometer.
Okay? I bet your parents have those at home. And again, there's different ways of doing them. You might have one that goes in your mouth, one that goes in your ear, or now they're using ones that go on your forehead. All right, back to more people that work in hospitals. Aides, okay? Aides are people that work in the hospital and they care for people too. Aides do many things in hospitals. They may help feed people or they may help clean people. They may help people get dressed. They can help put on bandages. Aides may help people move out of hospital beds. They change the bed sheets on the hospital too. Because remember, keeping the hospital clean is very important. We don't want people sharing germs and spreading germs. They may help move people to other to other rooms in the hospital. Okay, so other people that you might see working in the hospital are aides. They might help just take care of you, helping you with your basic needs, which is so important because when we're sick in the hospital, we need a little extra help. And aides are there to help make sure you're taken care of. It's a very important job. You have to be a very caring person. So, what do you like to help people do? Because aides, again, they help. So what is something you guys like to help with? I know at school, sometimes you guys like helping us make deliveries, doing a special job in the school. Sometimes you like helping cook when we're doing a impromptu cooking activity. I'm trying to think. You guys will volunteer for pretty much any job that we ask for. You guys are all very helpful. You enjoy helping out others, and I think that's a great trait to have. But think about maybe something else you like to help other people do, something maybe at home that you like to help your family with. I know for me, I always liked helping my dad go grocery shopping because I could also pick out the good snacks. But I did like going and doing errands with my father. I always enjoyed going out on Sundays with him and doing that. Another person who works in a hospital is a dietitian. Okay, dietitians have really important jobs at the hospital as they plan meals for people. All right, it's their job to help pick out the food that they serve to patients. Dietitians decide what healthy foods people should eat in hospitals. They make meal decisions for people who are sick or hurt. Dietitians work with cafeteria workers, and the cafeteria workers may bring the meals to people. In our News to You article, I'm so sorry, we read about how people who work in the cafeteria are so important because they are the ones that are making food for people in the hospital, for people that are working in the hospital. Well, dietitians work with the cafeteria workers to give them ideas and meal plans to make healthy food. Because most of the time when people are sick, you should be trying to eat healthy, good food for you. The dietitians may help people decide what they should eat after they leave the hospital too. I know I've had someone in my family who had to have surgery and they had to change up what they were eating after their surgery and have a special diet. And there was a dietitian that was able to give information and tips on how to do that. Because sometimes when we're sick, we do have to change up what we're eating and we have to maybe make healthier choices. And dietitians are great resources that can help you make those good choices. They know what all the good foods are. They know what your body should have, how much it should have. So, speaking of food, what is your favorite meal and why? Okay. I have to say, I think my favorite meal that I really love now, it's hard to pick, but I've been really, really into sushi lately. I really love having sushi. I really love going with my sisters when I see them to get sushi and just ordering lots of sushi and chowing down on that. But I'm curious, what is your guys' favorite meal? I know we do this at school, what your favorite lunch is, but maybe at home, your parents and your families make different foods that we don't serve at school. Another job in the hospital, and these people don't just work in hospitals, they work in stores and pharmacies, but is a pharmacist. Pharmacists give medicine to people, okay? Whenever you're sick, if you get a prescription, you will have to get it from the pharmacist. Doctors, it's their job to order medicine for people. Okay, so the doctor will tell you what kind of medicine you take. However, the pharmacist will give the medicine to people when they're sick. Usually, the doctor's not giving you your pills or your liquid. You have to go and pick it up from the pharmacist. Pharmacists give information about the medicine to people. So sometimes there's specific instructions like you can only take 2 doses a day, or you have to take your medicine with food. The pharmacist is there to explain that to you. It's usually also on the label. The answers they also answer questions from people and make sure people know how to use medicine safely. Because it's really important that we follow directions when taking medicine. There's a reason why they have directions. If you took too much, you could get sick from it. Hospital workers, such as pharmacists, help many people in hospitals. This question is asking you here, and again, this picture is showing a man going to the store. He's talking to his pharmacist about a medication, and she's helping explain what the rules are, the information for taking it. But again, the question that they're asking is describe a time you had to take medicine. So some of you guys take medicine every day, and that's okay. It's what your body needs. Do you guys know why you have to take certain medications? Can you think of a time when maybe you were really sick where you had to take medicine? I know I take my allergy medicine every day now because if I don't, I sneeze, I get really tired, my eyes water, I get a bad cough, and I do not feel well. So I make sure to take my allergy meds every day. So now we have our questions. Okay. Who may aides help feed? All right, so in the hospital, we know aides will help people. They might help get them dressed, move them. They might help feed. Who are they feeding? Are they feeding people in a hospital? Are aides feeding dinosaurs in a hospital? Or are they feeding wizards? Well, I know I didn't hear anything about dinosaurs in this story, in this article, and I definitely didn't hear anything about a wizard. But I know we've been talking about how aides help people, and there's so many ways that they help them. So I think the answer is people.
People.
Yeah. Can you imagine if we had dinosaurs and wizards running around the hospital? That'd be a little weird. All right. Who do dietitians work with? And remember, dietitians help plan healthy meals for people in the hospital. But they do have to work with other people in the hospital. Who did we say they worked with? Do they work with poll workers, construction workers, or cafeteria workers? Well, I know poll workers, they have to do with elections, and we weren't talking about anything with elections in the hospital. Construction workers may be working in a hospital when they're doing construction and redoing things, but I know they don't work with the dietitians because they have nothing to do with food. However, I do know that cafeteria workers, people that cook the meals, we read about how they have to work with the dietitians so they can plan and cook healthy meals. So I think it's cafeteria workers.
Cafeteria workers.
Correct. Last question. What do pharmacists give to people? So the doctor might write you a prescription, but the pharmacist is who gives you what's in the prescription. So what do they give you? Do pharmacists give you flowers, awards, or medicine? Well, I don't remember hearing about getting any flowers, although sometimes people get them in the hospital. And I know pharmacists don't give awards out because we didn't talk anything about awards in this article. However, we did talk about how pharmacists might help give medicine and help explain how to take your medicine. And I know when you're sick and you might be in the hospital, you get medicine. So I think that would be the best answer.
Medicine.
So that is the end of our News to You article. I am going to click a link. Maybe I'll do both so we can see a couple of videos. This one says, click on the video link to hear and see people thanking hospital workers.
As the Sheriff John Shine, I just wanted to thank all of you for doing this. I know it's not easy work. You guys are the ones who are on the front lines, and we really appreciate you, our first responders. Appreciate you, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here.
All these cars with the blinking lights are people that are praying for Americus and this virus. It's all down that way. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, I don't know about you guys, but that got to me a little. Um, again, um, right now, anything you guys can do to thank hospital workers would be greatly appreciated. You can mail them and give cards to them anytime. We're not collecting them, but we do have an address if you would like to do that in our Google Classroom. I am asking if any of you are interested to please send a picture of yourself thanking hospital workers and to email it to me for us to put into our video. Um, they're so important to us right now, and every little thing that they do is making all of the difference right now. And the smallest little gestures are greatly appreciated. But I hope you guys enjoyed the extension activity. I hope you guys are staying healthy and safe. Don't forget to thank your hospital workers. Bye.